gentlemen, the greatest tragedy in life is not death. It is a life lived in ignorance. Every day we wake up, we are given a gift, a fresh opportunity to grow, to learn, and to expand our minds. But too many people waste this gift, trapped in the prison of what they already know, refusing to break free into the vast world of knowledge. If you are not learning, you are dying. Slowly, silently, without even realizing it. Because the moment you stop growing, you start declining. The world is moving forward at an unstoppable pace, and those who refuse to educate themselves daily will be left behind, outdated and irrelevant. Think about this. Everything you need to rise, to succeed, to transform your life is hidden in information you have not yet discovered. Your next level is locked away in a book you haven't read, a conversation you haven't had, or a lesson you haven't learned. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the knowledge you choose to embrace. A tree never stops growing. The moment it does, it begins to decay. You are no different. Your mind is the soil, and education is the water. What happens when a plant is not watered daily? It shrivels, weakens, and eventually dies. That is what happens to the human mind when it is not fed with new wisdom, new ideas, and new understanding. Education is not a classroom. It is a lifestyle. It is not an event. It is a daily discipline. The greatest minds in history never stopped learning. The most powerful leaders, inventors, and pioneers were students until their last breath. They understood that ignorance is more expensive than education. Ignorance will cost you opportunities, relationships, success, and even your purpose. Some people say, I don't have time to read, to study, to learn, yet they have time to scroll endlessly on their phones, time to gossip, time to entertain distractions that add no value to their future. It is not about time, it is about priority. What you value, you will invest in. And if you truly value your destiny, you will commit to educating yourself every single day. Read books that challenge you. Listen to voices that inspire you. Ask questions that stretch your thinking. Never settle for what you already know, because the moment you do, you have surrendered to mediocrity. The person you are meant to become is on the other side of what you are willing to learn today. So I ask you, what did you learn today? What new wisdom did you gain? If your answer is nothing, then today was wasted. But it doesn't have to be that way tomorrow. Choose to grow. Choose to learn. Choose to rise above ignorance and step into the power of knowledge. Because the day you stop learning is the day you stop living. Ignorance is the greatest tragedy. A life without continuous learning leads to stagnation and irrelevance. Growth is essential for progress. Learning is the key to transformation. The knowledge you have not yet acquired holds the power to unlock your next level of success and fulfillment. The mind needs constant nourishment. Just like a tree that stops growing begins to decay, a mind that is not educated daily weakens and loses its potential. Education is a lifestyle, not an event. The most successful people in history committed to lifelong learning, understanding that ignorance is more costly than education. Your priorities determine your future. Time is not the issue, what you value is. Investing in learning daily will shape your destiny and open doors of opportunity. Daily learning is non-negotiable. If you are not learning something new each day, you are wasting valuable time. Growth must be a deliberate daily pursuit. Many people believe that the greatest loss in life is death, but the real tragedy is a life lived in ignorance. A person can be physically alive, yet mentally and spiritually stagnant, trapped in a cycle of outdated beliefs, limited thinking, and a refusal to learn. This kind of existence is far more devastating than death itself, because it robs individuals of their true potential. Ignorance is not just a lack of knowledge, it is a silent thief that steals opportunity, success, and purpose. It blinds people to possibilities, keeps them bound to mediocrity, and limits their ability to influence the world around them. When someone refuses to grow mentally, they unknowingly build walls around their own destiny, preventing themselves from reaching the heights they were meant to achieve. The world is constantly evolving. New discoveries, new technologies, and new ideas are shaping the future every day. Those who fail to educate themselves regularly will find themselves left behind, watching as others move forward. They will be stuck in outdated ways of thinking, unable to adapt to change, and eventually their skills and knowledge will become obsolete. This is why ignorance is not just a personal limitation, it is a direct path to irrelevance. Some people mistakenly believe that ignorance is harmless, but history has proven otherwise. Societies that embrace knowledge and learning advance, while those that reject it fall into decline. The same principle applies to individuals. A person who refuses to learn will find themselves struggling, frustrated, and unable to navigate the challenges of life effectively. They will make poor decisions, repeat mistakes, and blame circumstances rather than taking responsibility for their growth. One of the most dangerous aspects of ignorance is that it often disguises itself as confidence. People who do not seek knowledge assume they already know enough, and this false sense of security prevents them from ever improving. They reject new information, dismiss different perspectives, and remain trapped in their own limited understanding. This is why the most powerful step toward transformation is acknowledging that there is always more to learn. No one is born knowledgeable. Every great leader, innovator, and thinker started as a student, eager to absorb new insights. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is their commitment to continuous learning. Choosing to educate yourself daily is choosing to break free from the prison of ignorance. It is a conscious decision to expand your mind, embrace wisdom, and unlock the doors to greater opportunities. Ignorance is not a condition you are forced to live with, it is a choice. And the moment you choose knowledge over ignorance, you choose life over mere existence. The difference between where you are now and where you want to be is the knowledge you have yet to acquire. Every breakthrough, every success, and every transformation in life is the result of learning something new. Growth is not a matter of luck or talent. It is the outcome of intentional education and a commitment to expanding one's understanding daily. Many people desire success but remain stuck because they have not yet learned the principles that will take them to the next level. They pray for opportunities but lack the wisdom to recognize them when they appear. They work hard but do not educate themselves on better strategies, so they continue to struggle. The truth is, your ability to rise depends on what you know, and more importantly, what you are willing to learn. Knowledge is the key that unlocks doors. It turns dreams into reality, potential into performance, and ideas into impact. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the strongest or the most talented. They are those who understand the power of continuous learning. They invest time in reading, studying, and seeking wisdom, knowing that each new piece of information adds to their ability to succeed. The world rewards those who solve problems, and the ability to solve problems comes from knowledge. Every great innovator, leader, and achiever succeeded because they learned something others did not. They uncovered solutions, mastered skills, and gained insights that position them ahead of the rest. If you desire transformation in any area of your life, whether in business, relationships, health, or spirituality, it begins with learning. One of the greatest mistakes people make is believing that what they currently know is enough. This mindset creates stagnation and limits potential. The truth is, there is always more to learn, and those who remain curious will always have an advantage. The moment you stop learning, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you start declining. Every day presents a new opportunity to gain knowledge that can shape your future. A book you read today may contain the wisdom that changes your financial situation. A lesson you learn today may prepare you for a challenge in the future. A conversation you have today may introduce you to a perspective that shifts your entire mindset. The knowledge you seek today has the power to transform your tomorrow. If you want to elevate your life, start by elevating your mind. Make learning a daily habit, because the more you know, the more you can do. The future belongs to those who are willing to educate themselves continuously. And the only way to reach your highest potential is to commit to lifelong learning. The human mind is like soil. It has the potential to grow incredible things, but only if it is nourished properly. Just as plants need water and sunlight to thrive, the mind needs a constant supply of knowledge, wisdom, and new ideas. When learning stops, the mind does not remain the same. It begins to weaken, deteriorate, and lose its ability to produce greatness. Many people believe that once they complete formal education, their learning journey is over. They assume that a diploma or a degree is the final step in acquiring knowledge. But in reality, education is a lifelong process. The world is constantly changing. New discoveries are being made, and the problems of today require new solutions. Those who do not continue learning will find themselves outdated, unable to adapt, and left behind by those who choose to grow. A tree never stops growing. Even after reaching great heights, it continues to absorb nutrients, stretch its branches, and strengthen its roots. The moment a tree stops growing, it starts dying. The same principle applies to the mind. The moment you stop feeding it with knowledge, it begins to shrink. Your thinking becomes rigid, your creativity fades, and your ability to handle challenges weakens. You may not notice the decline immediately, but over time, the effects become undeniable. This is why some people struggle in life, not because they lack opportunities, but because they lack the wisdom to take advantage of them. They are stuck in old ways of thinking, trying to solve new problems with outdated knowledge. They become frustrated, blaming circumstances, when in reality, their greatest limitation is their unwillingness to learn. The difference between those who excel and those who struggle is not always talent or resources. It is the ability to adapt and grow through continuous learning. Successful individuals understand that their minds must be constantly refreshed with new insight. They read, they listen, they observe, and they ask questions. They treat knowledge as a daily necessity, not an occasional luxury. Imagine two people standing in the same field, both with the potential to succeed. One waters his mind daily with learning, while the other neglects his mental growth. Over time, the difference becomes clear. One flourishes, producing ideas, opportunities, and solutions, while the other withers, struggling to keep up with the changing world. Your mind is your greatest asset, but it will only serve you well if you take care of it. Never let a day go by without feeding it with knowledge. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep stretching your understanding. Because the moment you stop, you are not just standing still, you are moving backward. Education is not a one-time event, nor is it confined to the walls of a classroom. It is a continuous journey, a lifelong commitment that separates those who thrive from those who merely survive. Many people mistakenly believe that learning ends with graduation, but true success belongs to those who embrace education as a daily discipline, not a temporary phase. The most influential and successful individuals in history never stopped learning. They understood that ignorance is more expensive than education. The cost of remaining uninformed is far greater than the effort required to seek knowledge. Those who refuse to learn will eventually pay the price through missed opportunities, poor decisions, and a lack of relevance in an ever-changing world. Education is not about collecting certificates. It is about expanding your thinking. Some people have degrees but lack wisdom. They have knowledge but no understanding. They have information but no application. True learning is not measured by how much you know, but by how much you grow. If your knowledge does not lead to transformation, then you have merely accumulated facts, not wisdom. The greatest minds in history, scientists, inventors, leaders, and innovators, remained students until their last breath. They did not allow their previous achievements to make them complacent. They read, they studied, they questioned, and they sought new ways to improve. They understood that the world rewards those who continue to learn and punishes those who believe they already know enough. Ignorance is a silent thief. It steals potential, limits opportunities, and keeps people trapped in mediocrity. Many people struggle in life, not because they lack intelligence, but because they stop learning. They rely on outdated knowledge, refusing to adapt, and as a result they become obsolete. The world does not slow down for those who refuse to grow. It simply moves on without them. Education must become a lifestyle. It must be as natural as breathing, as essential as food and water. Every day presents an opportunity to gain new insights, refine skills, and deepen understanding. Those who commit to lifelong learning will always be ahead, while those who neglect it will always struggle to catch up. The moment you stop learning, you start declining. There is no neutral ground. You are either growing or shrinking, advancing or falling behind. The choice is yours. Will you embrace education as a lifelong journey, or will you settle for what you already know? The answer to this question will determine the quality of your future. Time is. Every person has 24 hours in a day, yet some grow intellectually, financially, and spiritually, while others remain stagnant. The difference lies in what they choose to invest their time in. The truth is, people always make time for what they value. If learning is not a daily priority, then progress will always be out of reach. Many people claim they are too busy to read, study, or develop new skills. Yet they spend hours on social media, watching television, or engaging in activities that do not contribute to their growth. The problem is not a lack of time, but a lack of intentionality. The mind, like a muscle, needs daily exercise, and those who neglect it will inevitably fall behind. The most successful individuals in any field are not necessarily the most talented or the luckiest. They are the ones who discipline themselves to keep learning. They schedule time for self-improvement, knowing that each day is an opportunity to gain new insights and sharpen their skills. They do not wait for knowledge to come to them. They actively pursue it. Your priorities determine your future. If education is not on your daily agenda, then growth will never be a part of your reality. Learning must become a non-negotiable habit, just like eating or sleeping. It should not be something you do only when it is convenient. It should be something you do because your future depends on it. Opportunities are reserved for those who are prepared. Many people miss life-changing chances because they were not ready when the moment arrived. They did not take the time to equip themselves with the necessary knowledge, and when the door of opportunity opened, they were unable to step through. The best way to ensure that you are ready for success is to educate yourself daily. Some people spend their lives blaming circumstances, believing that they are stuck because of external factors. In reality, the greatest limitation is not a lack of resources, connections, or luck. It is a lack of knowledge. When you commit to learning, you empower yourself to overcome obstacles, adapt to change, and create new opportunities. There is no secret formula for success. There is only preparation, discipline, and continuous education. If you truly value your future, then you must make learning a priority. The more you invest in your mind, the more you will reap in your life. The choice is simple. Make time to learn, or be left behind by those who do. Every day that passes without learning something new is a wasted day. Knowledge is the fuel for growth, and without it, progress becomes impossible. Life does not remain stagnant. Either you are moving forward or falling behind. The difference between those who succeed and those who struggle is simple. The successful make learning a daily habit, while the unsuccessful assume they already know enough. Many people dream of a better future, but few are willing to make the daily commitment to self-education. They want success without growth, results without effort, and opportunities without preparation. The truth is, every great achievement is built on a foundation of continuous learning. If you are not growing, you are slowly being left behind by those who are. The world is changing at an incredible speed. New technologies, industries, and ideas are emerging every day. What worked yesterday may no longer be effective today. If you do not actively seek new knowledge, you will find yourself outdated, unable to compete, and stuck in the past. Those who stop learning eventually become irrelevant, replaced by those who are willing to adapt and grow. Some believe that once they have a degree, a job, or a certain level of experience, they no longer need to study. But real education does not end with school. It begins when you take personal responsibility for your growth. Formal education may give you a foundation, but lifelong learning is what builds a legacy. The most successful people are not those who once learned, they are those who never stopped learning. Imagine two individuals standing at a crossroads. One chooses to educate themselves daily, gaining new insights, improving their skills, and expanding their understanding. The other assumes they already know enough and refuses to grow. At first, the difference may seem small, but over time, the gap becomes enormous. The one who continued learning will rise, while the one who refused will be left behind, wondering why life seems so difficult. If you are not intentionally feeding your mind, you are unintentionally weakening it. Just as the body requires food to stay strong, the mind requires knowledge to stay sharp. Every day you should be reading, listening, observing, and questioning. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. The more you learn, the more you can do. The more you can do, the more opportunities will come your way. Success is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of preparation. And preparation comes from daily learning. Commit to educating yourself every day, because the moment you stop learning is the moment you start falling behind. The greatest investment you can make is in your own mind. Every day is an opportunity to grow, to expand your understanding, and to position yourself for success. Ignorance is not just a lack of knowledge. It is a silent enemy that limits potential, steals opportunities, and keeps people trapped in mediocrity. The only way to break free is through continuous learning. Education is not a one-time event. It is a lifelong commitment. Those who choose to learn daily will always have an advantage over those who settle for what they already know. The world is constantly evolving, and only those who are willing to adapt, grow, and seek new wisdom will rise above the rest. Your mind is like soil. If you do not nourish it with knowledge, it will wither. Your priorities shape your future, and if you truly value success, learning must become a daily discipline. Success is not about luck. It is about preparation. And the best way to prepare for opportunities is to equip yourself with the knowledge to seize them. Make a decision today. Never let a day go by without learning something new. Read, listen, ask questions, and challenge yourself to grow. The moment you stop learning, you stop living at your fullest potential. But if you commit to educating yourself daily, there will be no limits to what you can achieve. Choose knowledge. Choose growth. Choose to rise.